Guys, today I have a very interesting video, and I made it this time. This is a really interesting statement I want to make, and this is why we should not really overly trust anti-Trump Republicans. So this is not going against every anti-Trump Republicans, mainly politicians, okay? Now, I'm saying people who actually know their shit, anti-Trump Republicans who know their stuff, and are not going against Trump for manners and going against policy. This video is not directed towards you. Also, pro-Trump Republicans, Trump supporters. Although I do dislike you guys, I think in this video is actually going to make us really agree on something. This video is mainly directed to Democrats, actually, people like myself. Here's why the anti-Trump Republicans politicians are actually very much overly praised by us, and here is why. Now, when you look at Trump supporters, right, and you look at anti-Trump Republicans, which one of those two groups are the outsiders, and which one of those two groups are the out-of-touch establishment? Exactly. Trump is an outsider, and so are his supporters, while people like Jeb Bush or Meghan McCain or Mitch McConnell are not outsiders. They're establishment Republican. And raise your hand if you like establishment. I'm hearing crickets, so I don't really hear anybody, okay? So, my point is mainly that, look at anti-Trump Republicans. They are the establishment, right? People like Jeb Bush. Now, the Republican establishment and the Democratic establishment have something very in common. They're both very disliked by their own political parties. And Trump supporters and, let's say, Bernie supporters have also something in common. They are both outsider groups fighting against the establishment, and they're very much liked in their respective parties. So, I don't want you to think of it, because when we as Democrats have a tendency of seeing our anti-Trump Republican politician and placing them very high on the smarts, the brains spectrum, although we really shouldn't, because when you also, they're not just anti-Trump Republicans. You're going to see mainly establishment, people with gray hair. You're going to see Jeb Bush, Meghan McCain, although she is younger. And when you look at them and you hear what they're saying about Trump, are they really speaking against Trump's policies or more about his manners? Because Mitt Romney in 2016, he made a long ranting speech of about 10 minutes against Trump, which is pure anger. But he was not talking about Trump's policies. He was completely fine with it. What he was talking about was actually Trump's manners and his lack of politeness, his gentleman side, the lack of all that. So, notice, Republican establishment, Democratic establishment are very much similar. Jeb Bush, George Bush, Mitch McConnell, Meghan McCain are very disliked within the Republican Party. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Dianne Feinstein are very much disliked within the Democratic Party. So, then you see how they're not grassroots at all. They're actually very much corporates. Although with Republicans, being a corporate isn't exactly an insult, sorry. But they're both not grassroots. They're both against the people. And Trump supporters and Bernie supporters, what they also have in common is that they are grassroots. They were fighting for the people. And so, for us, again, we're going to be praising anti-Trump Republicans, but if we were to actually put ourselves in the shoes of Republicans, primarily Trump supporters, we're going to hate the establishment, because we're going to see them as these out-of-touch people who are not representing us. Trump has come out, and now he is representing us. We're finally represented. Now, Democrats, we all know how Democrats feel, if you are a Democrat at least. We feel that Bernie Sanders is leading this new socialism group. And with politicians, it only looks like 5 politicians are pro-socialism, but when you look at the actual people, it's in the double digits of percentages. So, also, Republican politicians, you're just like, oh, yeah, he's not really too liked. But with the actual people, no, Trump is very disliked, very liked in the Republican Party. And so, yeah, guys, this is my video on why we should not praise anti-Trump Republicans, as they mainly seem out of touch. These are people like Meghan McCain or Jeb Bush. I'm making these two guys main examples because they will attack Trump on insults of basing on his manners and gentlemanness and politeness, and that's not something to attack somebody on. Yeah, really interesting thought. I do want you guys to talk about this in the comment section. And I'm not attacking every single anti-Trump Republican, but what I'm saying more is not you guys, but the anti-Trump Republican politicians are out of touch. We should not praise them.